we're live.
We're
I gotta.
live?
We are
You're
live.
you're teasing me.
I gotta figure out where that one is. I even I there's adventures and oh man, I can't even find the start for our show here.
What are we gonna do?
We're going to throw one at it and see what it does. And we're live, and yeah, I'm just having one of those heck of a days. Oh, I got rid of the background, but I didn't get rid of the thing in front of us. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Is it Friday yet? I hope so. Good lord. This is starting to be a rough time for me.
Mm,
But
Nope, it's not
hello.
Friday. I have another show
Yeah.
on Friday, and then I have one on Saturday morning.
Oh. Is it about
Yeah.
cartoons?
Nope.
Oh. Anyway, this is the Traveling Owl, and we're very happy because Traveling Owl doesn't really happen very often. Usually it's 30-minute squirrel nuts. 2 weeks ago, we had a Traveling Owl, and then we had 30-minute squirrel nuts the next day, or vice versa. Something like that. But one of the greatest things about this show is we get a show. Oh, excuse me, man. Indigestion. Hoo-ha. Anyway, one of the best things about this whole thing is we get to talk about all the places that we went. And I'll tell you, I got a chance to go to New Orleans, Louisiana. I actually got some family down there, but it's family I've never met. Um, I've actually got it scheduled that I am actually going to be going back down to New Orleans in January to go visit a cousin and go hang out. And the last Friday of 2027 in January is the opening, I do believe, of Mardi Gras. And if
Nice.
you didn't know, Mardi Gras actually is kind of interesting because it doesn't just go one weekend. It's not 1 week. I always thought it was 1 week. I think it's actually 7 weeks of Mardi Gras partying. So yeah. So Dell, you went just a little bit ago.
Yes.
And your experience is going to be a lot different because I actually had gone with my son, and I'm going to pull up some pictures later on. And my son and me had so much fun with this because we went on a school trip. But when you go on a school trip, it's one of those things where you're like, yay, but I kind of want to go there. You, on the other hand, you got to go wherever you want to, and you got to go hang out with some family and friends, right?
Yeah, we went there. My mother gets discounted and or free trips to different Caesars locations, and there is a Caesars in New Orleans, and this is the first time we've gone to Laughlin a number of times, but this is the first time she had it offered to go to New Orleans, and we have wanted to go again for a while. And it was cheaper to fly down and stay 3 days at the hotel than it was to drive down. So we were like, well, yeah, I mean, and that's without accommodations. It was like under $400 for the two of us to both get round trip flight and accommodations. So we went down, and it's not our first time at all. But I do have a cousin who lives in Slidell, and that's about 30 minutes out of New Orleans. And we haven't seen him or his wife for quite some time. I think it's been like 5 years, and I could not believe it had been 5 years when we were checking dates, and it was just like, oh my god, it has been. But so we went down and spent. Or we got there in the afternoon-ish. Got to the hotel about dinner time, so grabbed something to eat, and then kind of just checked out the casino because we hadn't seen the Caesars there before. It's a casino. It's nothing huge or great. I mean, it was the hotel was nice though. We had I'm not going to share pictures of the hotel because that's silly. Mom's like, "Look at the bathroom." Although there was like the shower had a seat thing in it, and that was really cool, and the toilet was in its own separate water closet in the bathroom, so that was cool. And I kept the AC down, but it would only go down to 65. Apparently, because they know it's so hot and humid, everybody otherwise would have their things set at 50, but their thermostats. But yeah, but it was a good time going down there, and we spent the one day just wandering. We walked around in the French Quarter and got 5 miles, which is a lot more than either one of us is used to with the cobblestones and bricks and everything. And you got to watch when you're down there because there'll be bricks that are missing. There's a sudden pothole in the sidewalk, and there's a bunch of drunk people walking around. And so you kind of have to keep your eye out on things even if it's just during the day. And we both the next morning woke up just sore as shit and had what in my family we call I got a hitch in my giddy up when you can't quite get the
Oh,
walking straight. So
I haven't heard that in so long.
yeah, that was Papa would always say it. So it's become like a common phrase in our household. So we were both like walking around looking like we were gonna die just because of just calf pain and knee pain and stuff. And she had her hip. Oh, hi, Stefan. I haven't seen y'all for a little bit either. I hope everything's going okay. I'm we're just talking about our trips to New Orleans, and I had a lot of fun there. And I got to go. My two shops that I need to go in are I check out. I always go to both of the voodoo shops, Marie Laveau's and um Rev Zombies. They're sister stores, but they have some different things in them. So we got to go and check both of them out. And then when I was leaving the one to go to the other, there was this it's not the hat shop. I can't remember what it was called, but it's basically that. It's called something basically just like the hat shop or the hat. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I got this lovely leather hat that I think is going to replace my hair during the summer at least, so I don't just have a foof going out because of the humidity here. And yeah, that was dipping into the old inheritance fund there to pick this thing up. But when I saw it, I was like, okay, if that fits, I'm gonna own it. It was the only one like it, so it wasn't like I could go through and try on a different bunch. But I went in initially to get a flat top cap, and we were trying to get some air, and they were like, "Oh, the fan's back over there. Just go stand there for a little bit, then you can come back up." And when I went to go see the fan, I saw the top hats, and I saw a leather skulled top hat that was just like Dell. Dell needs to own this. This is this is what you have to have. And so I tried it on, and can y'all guess my hat size with my hair, even when it's down?
I have no idea.
Jenny got a clue? No,
32?
I don't. It's
Is it
it's an
is it large?
XL. It's XL.
Oh,
Right.
so you might be able to wear
And
my hat.
and it's tight on me. So yeah. So XL, and that's with the braids down. Yeah, I got a lot of hair and it puts a lot of volume in it. So it's all. And Stefan, I did not get a crow's skull. But maybe sometime in the future. But yeah, I had the best time down there, just finally relaxing. We were right catty corner across the street too from the aquarium that you told us about, and we were going to do
Yep.
that on the second day because it was like we got there and went to bed. Then the first day was 5 hours of walking around the French Quarter, and then we went and we had a meal at Mr. B's Bistro. That's one of the oh, hold on. I got to look this up because I'm suddenly forgetting everything. Yeah, Mr. B. It's Brennan, the Brennan family of restaurants down there. They're French. And we had some great food there. I the first night I think we ate at Emerald's and I just had a catfish po' boy there and that was pretty good. But when we went to Mr. B's, I think I do have a picture of what we ate at Mr. B's. No, no, I have the Emerald's one, but it's tiny, kind of spiny, kind of spiny, kind of tiny. So never mind. I'm not going to show you that, but because it'll be like this big on your screen. I didn't realize it shrunk so small when I loaded it up. But yeah, I had mom had red beans and rice while we were there, and this big chunks of andouille. And then at Mr. B's, I had some fabulous shrimp and grits, and she had the barbecued shrimp because Creole barbecue shrimp is not a red sauce. It is butter and some Worcestershire and a bit of seasoning. And put you down there. And you just scup all juice, crunch, but they have so good. And we just had some bow and went over and just when we went to spend some of my cousins. And we're just for the food management. And listen to jazz about
You might have to disconnect or reconnect your thing again and just started doing it. You got this far.
Is it missing?
Yeah, it's echoing.
Can you hear? Let me know. I want to know if
There.
the service just.
Nope. It's a hit and miss for some reason. You got a brand new headset, and that is the weirdest thing when you get new equipment. You don't know exactly what you got until you start playing with it.
Yeah, let's see.
And now I hear nothing. Oh, because you're muted. Nope, nothing.
Am I better now?
I heard better now.
Okay, so am I better now?
Yes.
Okay. So, yeah, I'll share the couple of pictures that I have. There aren't that many. We've got. This is a fleur de lis, and it is an elderflower with some cucumber, lemon, and gin. This, by the way, if you ever go to New Orleans, you have got to get yourself a Pimm's cup. And Pimm's is a gin infused, like aromatic liqueur. And when you're in New Orleans, in other places they just make this little kind of fruit juice cup thing, and they put some Pimm's in it and some soda and a little bit of fruit juice. That is a candied orange, like candied blood orange slice that's in there. And when you're in New Orleans, they go ahead and they pour a whole shot of gin in, and then they pour in the gin infused liquor, and then they put in all the rest of the things, like a little bit of ginger beer and stuff. So it's a pretty potent little drink, and you aren't really expecting it because it just tastes like you're drinking a fruit juice of some sort with just a hint of a kick. But it's pretty steady with the gin. And this was my other one. This is the Vieux Viol. So it's the Vieux Violet. And it was a pretty little lavender flavored drink that I got floral while I was down there. I didn't stick with my usual bourbons and stuff because it's so hot and so humid. You need something refreshing. So I was getting stuff with like cucumber things and garnishes and all the stuff like that that just keeps you hydrated. And you got to keep some water on you as you're walking around because you're going to die if you don't. We were walking through and we'd have to stop every couple blocks. And I really loved my trip. I loved seeing all the old places again. Part of the French Quarter was under construction, but Bourbon Street it still wasn't the best, but it was a lot more cleaned up than it has been in the past couple times I visited. Somebody's been doing
What?
a really good job.
It didn't smell like piss?
Not as much as it used to. I mean, believe
Because
me, it was horrible back in the day. Like beyond, there was just piles of trash. And I mean, they kept people running constantly, but they've gotten a lot better at maintaining it. Um, the biggest problem that we had with this trip was there were 180 people on our charter flight, and we go through Sun Country is what it is, and they got us to the airport like 3 hours ahead of our flight time, and we got up to the Sun Country thing, and Mom and I were probably about 20th in line, and it came time for us to check in, and it wasn't happening, and they were loading up the people, who need wheelchairs and stuff like that at one side in a line. Nobody was going. They had 5 people standing there waiting to check us in and check our bags and give us our tickets, and all of their computers were down. And they were talking to IT for 45 minutes before anybody showed up to even start helping them. And the line had gone the one way as people were trying to get up, and they were blocking all of the escalators in half of the airport. So they had to go through and line us up the other way, which took 3 people to make sure that nobody would try to use the chain things to cut themselves in line. And we had one lady who just laid down on the floor. But we were standing there, and I don't handle the stress and crowding. My heart rate was over 158 beats a minute, and I was sitting for an hour as we just stood there and waited to get loaded back on the plane. And so that part just sucked. And mom decided that she doesn't want to try doing that. And it's not particular that you're muted, by the way, Jenny Love. But
Echo.
oh,
you've been it's been like a hit and miss, Echo.
okay. I can't
It's
get
like
my other.
it's like your internet doesn't like the whole function.
Well, I'll just finish up then and just say mom's not sure if she wants to go that way again, just because of all the issues with the airport and stuff. But I'm hoping we'll get to go back again if she's willing to drive. But we have to have a car and stuff and be located somewhere because waiting for a plane was just ridiculous. But driving, she's like a road tripper, so she'll want to hit Alabama
Absolutely.
soon.
Ooh.
So
Alabama's good.
so I will stop talking now so you don't have to hear any more of my echo.
Sorry, I was just like, wow, it's like I'm enjoying the story, and I'm like, why does it keep going in and out of echo? But I think my biggest question, I do have one question. What was your favorite place? Favorite, like, did you guys go to any museums or anything on any of your trips?
No, but I think my favorite place to hang out was when we took a breather in the little kind of shaded in courtyard at Lafitte's. It's the oldest bar there. It belonged to a pirate, and it's haunted. They have a fireplace that they used to burn bodies in of people when it was a blacksmith shop, and they just built this bar around it. And just sitting in the shade took 10 degrees off of what we were doing, and we just sat there and just enjoyed ourselves for a good half hour the first night, or the second day, but the first day we went out on the town. So
Okay.
it's a great little spot, and I always recommend go to Rev Zombies or Marie Laveau's. I think Rev Zombies is slightly better, but it depends on who you want to. If you're there to tithe or to give an offering to somebody, if you want to put an offering to Marie Laveau, you're going to want to go to the Marie Laveau voodoo shop. If you want Papa Legba, you're going to want to go to Rev Zombies. So those are my tips. If you're into the voodoo, that's where you go to.
Uh, okay, so my journey was a little different than yours because I loved it. But
So many teenagers.
yeah, yeah. But I do want to do a couple shout outs on this. Absolutely. Um, want to make sure that Baron Buses knows that this is the first time I have been on their buses, and almost every set of seats, except for the few in the back, um, had electricity. The internet, if you wanted internet, they had Wi-Fi there, which was amazing. So you could charge your stuff, this and that, while you were going this and that. Um, we did have a little hiccup on the trip, but you know, it. I don't think it was really Baron's bus as much as the maker of the bus, because the one driver flat out told me, yeah, we really don't care for these newer buses because the latches don't latch right. But um, so so being in a bus like this, and almost every seat is full of adults and kids and this and that, and your view out of the bus one way is this way, and everybody say hi, Budsy. Hi, Budsy. Um, but it is very interesting going down these small streets with this bus. I can't say enough about their drivers being able to wind and move through this whole situation of different places. But yeah, we we were able to see a couple of different parts of their trolley system, which was absolutely amazing. I will say, just amazing that these kids got to experience this. We went to a zoo, and when we went to the zoo, I will tell you right now, it's always it's always interesting. It's always interesting going to a zoo with a whole bunch of kids, right? Because you never know what you're going to see. Yeah, we got to see the alligator, this and that. I mean, if you go down to New Orleans, you got to see the gators, right?
One
But
does not
at
know
the
how to explain the apes. That was not the situation you would want to go in with an ape at the zoo for us. Anyway, continue on.
so one of the things I will tell you is going through and just seeing different parts of the city. But at this zoo, I want to point out this was a display at the zoo. And I had to take a moment and really look at that and say, what the heck am I looking at? Yes, it's around Easter. So they actually put this. Uh, and what this is the Louisiana swamp monster. If you don't know what this is actually a Larugaroo. And I thought it was kind of funny that you actually had a Larugaroo because, you know, people's kind of thought of what the Larugaroo kind of looks like. You go from this to this. This once again is a Larugaroo. And it's supposed to be a werewolf down in the bayou. And this is actually a picture of the bayou. So we just thought it was really interesting going through these different things and being able to see all these different things of the city. This is another one of their trolleys that they have for it. Um, so it is so beautiful, but if you can see this, it's absolutely raining. I don't know about your journey, but boy, was ours full of trash bags and children. I know you don't throw your children away, but you know.
That is the goal, not to throw the children away.
Not the children. But this right here is very interesting because if you did not get a chance to go to see this, I highly recommend this. This is Mardi Gras World. And in Mardi Gras World, you have the opportunity to go into this building, which is kind of like a warehouse type thing. And this warehouse has a whole bunch of different items in it from the parade. Like this right here, this is cane from Raising Canes that they actually had on a float with these other things. Which, you know, these guys are very, very talented. And Mardi Gras with the parades just got done. And I tell you, these guys, they absolutely went haywire because they're already working on the stuff for next year. And if you can't tell what this is, apparently you don't know what May 4th is because that right there is Darth Vader. But some of the stuff that's in this building is incredible to see, and they're sculpted and they try their hardest to make the stuff, and they keep the stuff around because maybe they can change the color, maybe they can reuse it, this and that. And these right here are some of the oldest ones, and they said that no one came in here and threw beads at them. These are actually the beads from the year that King Kong and Mrs. Kong was actually in the parade. And some of these items go in the parade every single year. So it's very interesting. So as we were going through one of the days, we went to a aquarium. Yeah, Dell, you were talking about this aquarium that was right there. This is at the top of the aquarium. It actually has a butterfly enclosure, and everybody wave at Jaden once again. Hey, Budsy. So I want to tell you, me in charge of 4 children, I had a good group. I just want to say I had a good group. I could not ask for better on this group. But you go through and you're seeing the different fish, you're seeing this and that. There's a wonderful group or a wonderful dive suit that was in there. And it's always one of those wonderful things, just getting through and going through and looking at stuff and trying to figure out, hey, what makes this one so much different than any other aquarium? Because every aquarium has fish. Every aquarium has this and that. But here is one of the biggest downfalls, and I will tell you all. And I got to plug in something. So sorry, guys. You guys get to see the... Well, one of the biggest things that just absolutely gets me is the time restraint on things. You have to be here. You have to do that. You have to do this. And sometimes you just ain't got enough time to actually sit there and enjoy everything. And I wish I could enjoy everything. But once again, you don't always get that time. So we went ahead and we enjoyed the best time that we could. In the butterfly part, I will say is pretty cool because they don't just have butterflies. They have a lot of insects and this and that. And one of the kids asked, what's so special about going to these what's so special about insects being close to the water and this and that. Friday, did you have a question about a puppy?
No, I was commenting along. First, I said poor Sky because Sky was in the Larugaru's basket. And then Raising Cane's dog came up, and my only thought was, puppy!
we have a chat here, and I just happened to pull up the chat, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that she said anything. I am seriously. There's a camera here and a camera here, and I'm working off of both of them to bring the best I can for you guys. And I apologize, but we did get to go to a swamp tour, and when we went to the swamp tour, it was really cool because this right here is one of the beautiful gators. And I will tell you right now, our tour guide that did it with us, he did a fantastic job. I didn't understand what he was doing most of the trip through. He kept on going wump 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 over their loudspeaker on the boat. And I was just like, what are you doing? I kind of figured it out after a while. Yes, gators do have ears. And what he was doing was he was calling to the gator and trying to go in wump, 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 wump. Come on, come on. He also did this for the raccoons and the pigs because there were wild hogs. And I thought it was really interesting how many wild hogs there was. But it was really cool because, he flat out was just talking about different stuff and how it is very interesting on how many wild hogs and how many raccoons and this and that we had around us. And I was like, is it really that many? And he went and he started throwing marshmallows. And when this man throws marshmallows and he makes that wump 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 sound, you just would not imagine how many raccoons come out to play. And when I say raccoons come out to play, I mean, that's that gator picture. Hold on here. Sometimes it would be great if I could see what I was putting up there a little better. And that's that picture too. Keep on adding the wrong photos that we keep on looking at. But there's so many raccoons and so many pigs because they allow these raccoons and these pigs to be in the area of this. And they encourage these raccoons and these pigs to be in this area. This might be a promising photo. Or I just played the same thing over and over. But there's a story with this one. The story goes that this used to be a town area, and there was a man that was a man that was a doctor, and his wife helped him with the doctor stuff. But when the doctor passed away, all the townsfolk kept on going out to her, and she was sad by the loss of her husband. That she kept on telling them to go away, go away, go away. So she played with voodoo. When she played with the voodoo, she just finally got the point where they started leaving her alone. Because when she died, she said, if you don't leave me alone, I'll die. And I will take a giant portion with me. Well, this is supposed to be all the graves of that disaster. Now, she's buried around here too, but she is not buried near them. And there's the raccoon photo. I kid you not. That is a fraction of the raccoons that you will see on this boat. And I did send wonderful Friday earlier some notifications here. Oh, here it is. Cajun Pride Swamp Tours is where this is. And boy, oh boy, when you say raccoons, these things will come up to you. They will eat out of your hand. Of course, he was the gentleman feeding the coons, not us. But they show no fear at all. They'll take that and they'll be like, "Thank you, come again." And I think that's just a really interesting thing, because when you go and you get so friendly to wildlife like that, they're going to stick around because they get fed. They get this, they get that. There we go. Haha, back on my track. I know exactly what I'm doing until I don't. But that's one of the good things that we're able to do. We quite enjoyed it. We got to hold gators. They were baby gators, mind you. But it's a fun trip. And I want everybody to know how fun of a trip this is. But there's just so much to this trip. I'm just picking photos now to figure out what the heck I'm looking at. Oh, so this right here, you will go to Louisiana, to New Orleans, and you will find, I guarantee you will find skeletons. Because boy oh boy, do they have skeletons everywhere. But at the same time, these buildings are old and some of them are massive, and New Orleans has been through hurricanes, floods. They've been through everything. But yeah, I mean, I was reading a note. Sorry about that. It's just a wonderful thing being able to know the history. We got a chance to be on a steamboat, and this steamboat runs off of diesel now. And it's really interesting because it's got this hanging in there, and I was like, what the heck is that? So I had to actually go a little closer. So this steamboat actually went to Cincinnati, and it raced versus the Belle of Cincinnati, which is also another steamboat at the Ohio River. So this steamboat's actually been in my neck of the woods. I just thought that was like the best thing, and this is the trophy, which is, you know, a Ohio thing. It has to be a Ohio thing. But Dell, you got more?
Yeah, I just figured out that the pics that I didn't think Mom sent me, she sent me.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't have time to download them all, so I'm just gonna show them from share on my screen with my phone chat. I'll open up the ones that. Let me make sure I have it set at a good spot.
Yeah, that's fine. Also, just so you know, your best friend came back. Echo.
Hold on.
Oh.
any better, or am I not today?
That is worse.
If I move it, does it make a difference? If I'm like up here, is it better?
Kinda, but you still do it.
If this is any better, if not, I'm gonna have to give up. But let's see. I gotta go through and share my phone link. Oh, wait, that's gonna show too much my phone link. Well, I guess, yeah, I can't show my pictures because they're gonna show my mother's phone number.
Oh,
But there is one
well,
picture I did want to share that
go
was
ahead.
this one. Okay, this is a trivia question for you. Do any of you know what this is? You will find them all around the French Quarter, in front of all of the different buildings.
Is that the gas shut off?
No, it is not, sir.
Okay, I don't know what that one is.
All right. Those which you will find constantly as you're going around are termite traps. They have to clean those out constantly because the way that it is set up, there are a lot of termites that come through. And I was going to show you the riverboat and Jackson Square and a bunch of other stuff, but I'm not going to show you guys my mom's phone number. So at a different time, perhaps I shall do this. But
Yeah,
Unless she really wants to have a conversation, then no.
I could try sharing something here. See if I could do it right. Let's do share screen. Oh, it won't let me share screen. Oh, I tried.
Oh
There's,
no!
I know, right? There
it gets
is.
picky.
I know it does. And it won't let me grab that. Oh, so if I can get this real quick, I will be more than happy to show you guys.
I did find the name of my hat shop, though. It was the Hat Loft.
Hat loft.
Okay, so I got mine from Roadkill. I'm just saying. I win on the bonus point of the name.
That you did, sir.
I'm not picky. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see if I'm
I,
smart enough.
there, you can go on some great tours too when you're down in New Orleans, but you have to be really picky about your specific tour guide. If you can get Andrew Ward, you're set.
All right. We're going to have some fun, and the people that I went to New Orleans with, y'all know the story. I'm going to tell it. I said I wasn't going to bring this up. There was nothing that was going to bring this up with me. But here I am. I'm going to do it. All right. So day one of us getting to New Orleans, we go ahead and we take a tour. We take a tour of the zoo, and then we took a couple of pictures over by Jackson, the statue. Yeah, Square. Jackson Square. The statue. Anyway, so let me tell you, I will show you a picture. Okay? Let me load this picture, because as I keep on doing this, I keep on deleting the photos and this and that, because, you know, I'm really nice to our poor system that has had enough. But this photo, we took a group of kids from Ohio. This wonderful gentleman here that is standing in the street. I can't remember his name, and I'm okay not to remember his name. And I can't tell you what tour company. But if you're indicating that this guy might go one way or another, you will understand after this story. So we're crossing the street. We're making sure that the kids are not going to get hit. Me and another chaperone are standing in the street. And I told him, I said, I'll tell you what, no one wants to hit you. That tour guide turns around, looks at me and goes, "Oh, are you talking about me?" And I said, no, I was talking about this guy. Later on, in front of these wonderful students, that tour guide made 3 more comments and smacked his ass towards my way. For the rest of the time, we were talking about the tour guide that was going to hang out with me every single day. I didn't want this tour guide. I really didn't want the tour guide. He did a good job. I will tell you, he did a great job, okay? He made sure he pointed out, Dell, when you were going around, did you notice some of the fences that had spikes? I mean, absolute spikes, or some of the landings, awnings, that had the separations, and it had spikes in it. Did you notice any of those? I don't know. Did you say no? Anyway, so we found out that there was a lot of people that had these, and they were known as Romeo gates, Romeo fences, Romeo spikes. What we found out was a long time ago, if you had a girl, it wasn't the girl that was trying to escape. What the guy would do was he would climb the fence, try jumping over the fence, and this was a deterrent. Or he would go into the place, grab the girl, and try getting across. And these were spikes. And it was very interesting how many spikes this city had. I mean, I'm not going to lie. A lot of spikes. But yeah, it was very interesting just going through. And if you go down to the river, you had an opportunity to go around and see all the gigantic ships going up and down the Great Mississippi River. But if you went right here, you would be able to see load. This. And I asked someone what it was, and no one knew what it officially was. And one person said it is to lock up your secrets. So I don't know if that's truly what that is. But I will tell you right now, fantastic artwork and fantastic. And in the back there, you can see the wonderful diesel steam boat that we actually, our last day, we got a chance to ride it. And it was so great because, you know, this was an opportunity for me and my son to really enjoy it. And on our last night, we were getting loaded up, getting ready to go on the bus. And I'll tell you now, we could have not had a better ending to it. Except for my son got a hat. And when he got this hat, his actually has skulls on it too, as you can see very lightly in the detail in the top there. He's actually got little skulls on his also. I don't know, Dell. What did you pay for yours, if you don't mind me asking?
Like I said, I had to dip into the inheritance fund. This is my one purchase for me for the year, as far as a clothing item goes, and it was $300.
Yours was $300. You beat us because mine was $169 and his was $199, and he spent some of the money that he was working so hard to save up for a good reason. And like I said, he wasn't going to do it all the time. So I'm very proud of him, very this and that. We had a great time. Clearly, two different things down in Louisiana that I got to see versus you. But
I did find some more pictures. I was able to save some.
did ya? All right.
Yeah.
Let's
So
see if we can figure that out.
as long as I'm audible. But yeah, a hat though, that's a different purchase than buying like a shirt or a pair of jeans or something like that, because hats don't wear out nearly as fast. This is going to be years, of good quality. So if you spend good money on a good hat, but I can't imagine spending like $300 on a pair of pants.
Did you get a lifetime warranty on yours?
No, they didn't come with warranties. They came with a grin.
Mine is actually from American Hat Maker, and it comes with a lifetime warranty. And yes, this is not AI, even though I was told it was AI.
All right. Well, I'm gonna share these other pictures that I got. Some of them are kind of neat. Some of them they're out of order, but I'm not gonna take the time to fix that right now. This was at our hotel, and this was something that was cool. They just had this suspended dragon that I made mom take a picture of, and I was like, okay, that's pretty chill. This is if you're walking down in the French Quarter, folks, and you can't figure out why there aren't street signs. You look down.
Yeah.
All of the streets are, and they have different fonts, and some of them are like in like mural kind of things and stuff, but you look down if you want to find the streets. This is where it's at Eats. It's the outdoor little patio area. It was so nice. There's a plaque was out there. This is the haunt fireplace. And this Pirate Lay Ab's house is where we all sat and had a drink, and you can see the absinthe machine, but absinthe pour right here. It's Jackson Square. There's also Jackson Square, and here you see beautiful trip behind. A bunch of the old cars can ride it. They're a ton of fun, and that might be. I get the last one. Let me see if I can real quick. Trying to get one. Scroll. How did it go? Oh. Okay. Here we go. This is one of the boats on the river.
And that's what we were in.
That's the one that you wrote in?
Yep, because it had the giant awning, and people line up underneath that awning. You get dinner, and you get a wonderful tour. And man, it's a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Okay, I'm gonna stop now since I won't quit echoing.
You're done echoing now.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
So this right here is the company that took us on our wonderful journey. Um, I highly recommend, and I'm going to say this, highly recommend if you are a band that's trying to do a trip and this and that, um, go check these guys out. Um, they're very affordable. The one thing that they're more expensive on is the Baron bus. And the reason that they're more expensive on that is because we found out that Baron Bus does not have a single bus that's over 2 years. The owner of the company will not let their buses be older than 2 years. You get 2 years out of that bus and get it out, get a new one. So I thought that was very interesting. I thank him very much. I do believe his name was Jeff, and I'm in contact to try talking to them. That way I can have Jeff come on a future show that I'll be on. And when I say this, I really think it's really wonderful getting a guy that works in this field to be on a show. I mean, he could talk about the do's, the don'ts, where's it easy to go. And he told me, he goes, this trip is a harder trip because you got to go this. He goes, my favorite ones is going down to Orlando. I said, oh. He goes, you give them their wristbands and bye. I start laughing. I was like, really? And he goes, yeah, every single day. Bye. But I will tell you, we took off at 5 o'clock in the morning. And we got lunch on the road, and we sat there and got dinner when we got to Louisiana. And, or no. When we finally got down to Louisiana, we got off of the bus and got into the hotel. So we ate on the road. We ate twice and this and that. It is a pretty hard trip to a lot of people. If your kids have separation anxiety, a bus trip is probably not the best because all they're doing is thinking of how bored they get and this and that. So it is very interesting, but I talked to this company. They said Jeff is actually currently over in Europe doing a trip. Jeff told me if I get enough people around me, like maybe 25 people, he could get something set up and we could go down to New Orleans or Orlando, Florida, or this and that. He could get something set up for like 25 people, which honestly is kind of ridiculous of a small amount. But this tour group actually will work with you on it. And he said, you get so many people, and since you're helping set this up, your stuff is free. That's awesome. So this is something that maybe perhaps you could work with. I don't know. I'm kind of curious on everything. But as you can see, when I took this screenshot, my phone was about ready to totally die because there's a red line there. But yes, I highly recommend a lot of things. When it comes down to different tours, I will tell you that I am very happy with the tour that we took. And I seriously could not be happier with a lot of things.
Did your tour guide, when you were in the French Quarter, explain the different it when you're there, you know how everything's in odd colored pastels or bright colors and they are all kind of different as you go around? There's like this
Time
one's
zone.
kind of what?
Is it
No,
because of the different time zone that it was built?
it, no, I mean, like some of them are yellow, some of them are kind of aquamarine, some are kind of
Oh
a salmon color. But
no,
depending on whether they were doors, the walls, or the shutters, there were different meanings. One of them, I can't remember what they represent, which one represents which, but one of them is the language spoken, one of them is the race that you were, and one of them was the religion that you follow. And that's doors, walls, and shutters. And the different colors of them indicated which one you were. So
no.
people, or one of them might have been a language too, which language you spoke. Might have been languages instead of religions. Yeah. But so you could go up if you only knew French, you went to the aquamarine
Right.
shutters or something like that. But yeah,
We
and one some of them represented you spoke multiple languages and different things. But it was really cool to find out some of that stuff.
so no, we didn't. Excuse me. But he did tell me the the importance of the church that is the St. Mary's Church there. Do you know why the St. Mary's Church that is in New Orleans is so important?
I cannot remember. I know that Andrew told us, and I have since forgotten.
So the nuns at that church were the safe havens for the homeless, for this and that. Um, New Orleans got to be so bad of we're only spending quality time with our people from New Orleans that they actually had to get some type of new blood in. And when they had to get new blood in, of course, it was the women that they had to go find. So
Okay, yes.
they went across the sea and they said, "Hey, there's a whole bunch of guys and they have money, riches, this and that in New Orleans. Anybody want to go?" So the women went ahead and grabbed their little cases and they went with them. And what they did was they stored all these beautiful women underneath the deck. That way they got no sunlight. They were malnourished for this long trip. So when they came into the port, and they this is sad, they came into the port of uh of New Orleans and they started coming off. They were pale. They did not have enough sunlight. They were found to have scurvy. They were bleeding from the sides of their mouths and out of their eyes. And the men looked at them and said, "Vampires!" So the women were asked what were these little cases that they carried or these little things, and they said a word that these guys misunderstood. They tried saying cases, but it came out caskets. So here you go, and they thought that these were little caskets for babies. So there was vampire babies. The St. Mary's Church actually said, "No, no, no, no. Here, come, come, come." Had all the women go into the St. Mary's Church. They were fed, they were nourished, they were everything to take care of them. Then, one day, the doors opened. The women walked out. They were beautiful. The men were going crazy, thinking that it was a type of witchcraft at the church that ugly people were going in to bring beautiful ones out. So at some point there was questions. Are the nuns for the work of God? Or are the nuns the work of the devil, being witches? So this must be a type of voodoo. That building at some point had part of it burnt down because of one of the Louisiana fires. And there was a fire. The bells always in Louisiana, if you had a fire at that time, they would go and they would pull the bell churches and church bells, and they would go ding ding ding, and then they would look for the fire. Well, boys went running up to the church to tell them, hey, there's a fire on Good Friday. The bells do not ring on Good Friday. They don't ring until Easter Sunday. So no one knew there was a fire that was brewing, and it took out so much just because they said, no ringing bells because of their religion. So Louisiana's full of all these wonderful stories, all these great things. Is it voodoo? Is it about Papa? Is it this and that? I mean, there's so much culture into Louisiana. And the one thing I will tell you, you'll find in New Orleans that you will probably wonder why in the hell it's there is the National Museum of World War II. Did we get to go? No. Did we want to? Yes. But we found out that after the tour guide was there for 2 hours, he only got through a fraction of that museum.
Yeah.
So take your time, go to that museum, and it is beautiful at night because there's like this wavy awning on top of this building, and I couldn't figure out why you would design it like that. What it is they project lights up, and it looks like a parachute. That entire awning looks like a parachute, like the paratroopers coming in. So it's very beautiful. This whole city has so much history to it. It's got lore, it's got this and that. Yes, we brought 13 pennies, 13 for my son, 13 for my room, and we put them on our doors because the lore of the Lorugaru is that this mythical cryptid cannot count past 12. So if you go and you have 13, he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then as soon as he hits that 13th, he'll count that as 1. And he'll count back and forth all night long until he needs to disappear.
Also, something to keep in mind, New Orleans is at the same level as a third world country when it comes to education and healthcare and basic human like pay rights and things like that. So the tour guide that we had told me that years ago, and it has been reinforced by people now. It is most of the wages and things that a lot of the population get. They love tourists because all of their money comes from tourism, basically. But you're entering a third world country. Do not, in a public bathroom, sit on the toilet. You will get an STD. I mean, it's not 100%, but it's up there. Do not wear open-toed shoes when you are walking around Bourbon Street or any of the places that might, if it's been raining at all, because you will get some sort of disease, like some sort of foot fungus or something. There are a lot of very specific rules there that you just don't. And while we're talking about New Orleans, since I am Delphine, if you do not know the story of Delphine Lalaurie, who she was in American Horror Story, one of the characters that they portrayed when they did Coven. You can go by her house, and I think the last person that I know of that owned it was fucking Nicolas Cage.
Yep.
But that house is cursed, and what started out as they were hoity-toity rich people, but Delphine had this habit of taking her slaves and locking them up in the attic and doing things like saying, if you broke this many bones and shoved somebody into a suitcase, a trunk, how long would they live for? If you did all these horrible things. And finally, when they had a huge group of people there for some party, I mean, like the cooks were chained to their stations and stuff. but somebody started a fire, which made the whole town, made the fire department and stuff go up and look. And when they found the atrocities that were in this building, the Lalauries hopped onto their carriage and fled out of town and were never seen again because they were just such, I mean, they were sentenced to death, but they couldn't catch them.
So
It was terrible.
our tour guide said that exact same thing, but he added that they found a way to a family member's house across the sea and was writing letters to Dell's sister. Please, you gotta let us come back. I want to come back to New Orleans. And she wrote back, no, these people will kill you, kill me, this and that. You actually had a person chained to the stove. That they did. But the thing
Yep.
is, they got away with it so many times because their slaves would answer the door and the police would do a investigation. Okay, how are you guys all doing? This and that. And all the slaves were like, oh yeah, we're fine, we're fine. Oh, we love it here, we love it here. Not until that person was in that building, caught everything on fire, and all she could do was tell them to go get the ones that are locked up upstairs. Now, I'm going to show you some scary pictures of Louisiana. Okay? Dell, you brought it up with every vacation spot, various and that. You have all this wonderful stuff and they make it look amazing and this and that. And I will tell you, when we were talking in the beginning, I told you, I said, did the roads smell better? Those
They
roads
did.
can be somewhat terrible, but they actually go through with lemon trucks and spray down the streets to get rid of the smell. I actually brought those kids into areas and I told them, I said, you guys stay right with me. Anybody say anything, you tell them nope, this and that. One guy came up and he's like, hey, where you from? Ohio. He goes, oh, and he wanted to go put some beads around my head and he's telling me the price after he gave me the beads. And I looked down and I was like, well, I'm sorry. Would you like these back? And he goes, well, I guess so. And I looked down and said, see, where I come from, I offer you something. It is for free. He goes, well, that's not the way we do it down here. And I'll tell you, most of the people that live actually in the city of New Orleans do not have the Bayou accent. You will almost never hear that Bayou accent. You will find a lot of people that are from other regions, other places. The tour guide that we had, he was actually from Michigan. And guess what he had on his shirt? Cedar Point Entertainment. That is the roller coaster capital in Ohio. So as he's talking about this, he is absolutely joking because there's a rival between Ohio and Michigan. But he told a lot of different things, and I will tell you now, there is nothing better than hearing a crowing or a senior kid scream like a little girl because a cockroach ran up his leg. Do you wear shorts to these places? Do not recommend shorts. I know you're going to be hot. I know you're going to be muggy, but do not. If you can give yourself some layers of skin. Now, I will take these photos. I'm going to put these photos up, and I want you to really understand what Dell was talking about and what I was talking about is truly to be understood that there is beauty, but even through beauty, it's only skin deep, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is the homeless areas of New Orleans that live right beside the river. This is not stuff that has washed up. This is the homeless areas. people have taken things, they have thrown things here, and you can clearly see that there are makeshift areas, and you would never get to see this unless you were on the boat. That's the only time that we got to see this. And there are markets there. If you have somebody bump into you, you make sure you double check what you got is still what you have.
And if somebody says, I bet I can tell you where you got your shoes, you say no.
Okay, what is up with that?
Because you know what they're going to say? On your feet. And then you owe them $10.
So I had one person come up to me and she goes, I can tell you your future. And I looked at her, I said, oh, sweetheart, I don't think you want to do that. And she goes, no, no, I can read it clear as day. And her friend come up and goes, I'm just gonna let you know right now you don't mess with that one. What he got, you don't want. And I looked at her, I said, now, sweetheart, she doesn't have to buy you. You do. And she go, oh yeah, I have buy you, but no, no. We not messing with what you carry. And then she looked at me and she goes, you do know you got something on you, right? I said, I do. And I take it with great pride. Thank you very much. And she goes, I don't like that thing. She goes, keep moving along. Things be a lot better around here if you keep on moving. And I looked at her. I said, I don't know what you think I carry. And she goes, whatever you got there, you take it with you. Wherever you came from, you bring it back. And she goes, and don't try finding the crossroad. I said, what about Papa? And she goes, Papa run from a person like you. I said, oh, I don't think Papa will. I said, he's on Bourbon Street. And she goes, don't follow Papa. If you
Papa's
find a
on
woman,
Royale, actually. Or Royal.
is he? Because I was told
Yeah.
on Bourbon. Because at the end of Bourbon is the cemetery he bring you to.
Well, one of the shrines for Papa's on Royal. That's where I brought him my rum and tobacco. So
Ah. So here's my question, okay?
and
Does
you can't take
Rael
pictures. Royal is all it is. We get all fancy and say Royale, but it's Royal.
Yeah. So my question for you is does as we talk about good old Papa, does that street and the other street run the same direction?
Yes. So if you want to get to anywhere on Bourbon Street, you walk on Royal until you get to the cross street and then you go onto Bourbon Street. That way you avoid the smell
Oh, where the fun's that?
and the crowd.
Oh, there is also a New Orleans Welcome Center. Do not go to the Welcome Center after 5 o'clock. Everybody says that there is a free open bathroom in there. There is. Damn thing closes at fucking 5 o'clock though. There is a wonderful cafe there, and that cafe might be wonderful, but I will tell you right now, that kind of sucked because that cafe with all them tourists, you best be going someplace and buying like a coffee and taking a leak there.
Yeah. My mother's favorite thing to do with everybody on their first time down is to take them to Cafe Du Monde, which is right near the Riverwalk,
Yep.
and get beignets. And everybody in our family wears black all the time, pretty much. And she'll be like, pull it up and smell it. And then she'll go and blow 4 pounds of powdered sugar all over your clothing because she's evil like that.
Okay. So those two streets do go the same direction.
I told
So,
you.
so yeah, I thought they did. But the legend I was told is if you go to Bourbon and you start following him, he will take you to the cemetery. And when he takes you to the cemetery, that's where he'll show you the crypts. But the thing is, I don't know where that cemetery is because I just looked at Google Map. Thank goodness for Google. Um,
There aren't no
thank
crypts in New Orleans. You can't go underground. They bury everybody above ground. Crypts are below
no.
ground.
What is it? The ones that's above it. They're not crypts. What are they? Mausoleums.
Mausoleums, yeah. Those
Yeah,
are up above
but
ground.
yeah, he'll take you there. But it was really funny because I told those kids, whatever you do, if you come back down here, you do not go in these places by yourself, even if you're a grown ass adult. Always take a friend.
Mhm. See,
So,
they had to close down the cemeteries for a while. You could only get into them if you were going for a funeral or if you were with a licensed tour guide who had the key to open and shut them because they were throwing dead bodies just randomly into the cemeteries.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I would. You also go to New Orleans, and you get on your phone. You will come to realize there's a lot to New Orleans that you ain't got a lot of time to go see. But there is so many things that we got a chance to go see. There's so many things I want to go back to see. Um, my cousin informs me that she is going to be in one of the parades. So she's going to be on one of the floats. Do you know how those parades are operated?
No, it baffles me how they're able to fit more things there, and with the trolleys and everything, it just is insane.
Okay. So for you to have a parade in New Orleans, all right, it has to be ran by a non-profit organization, okay? A club. The club has so many things that they have to do before they can even do this. But for them to do a parade, they have to have so many float units, and every single one of those float units has a bathroom. It's got a porta john in it. Your
That's
people there,
smart.
you got people that will be on those things for 6 hours, getting set up, getting this, getting that. Once you are latched in, and I say latched in because there is safety mechanisms that they have to be on for you to be on that float. If New Orleans goes through, looks at your float, and it is not done correctly, they scrap it. They will absolutely stop. Now, here is where New Orleans Mardi Gras world comes in. Okay, Mardi Gras world. You go to this, and it's a museum. What you don't understand until you get there and watch their whole video is this is one of the warehouses that they do stuff in. Mardi Gras World helps makes these floats. They do all the safety stuff. They do this, they do that. It is absolutely amazing how much they actually do. So I get an opportunity to go back down in January, which is going to be totally different. Totally different. My wife already said she wants to go, and then I explained what she would be entering into, and she come to realize, let's go ahead and say no.
I had to get one the same size as Ratatosker, by the way.
So Friday, do you have any questions? Because I don't know if we got answers, but you've been really quiet, and
Oh,
I'd
I've just
really
been
like to hear.
listening.
I
And
noticed.
in all actuality, my picture that you see was
Yeah.
taken by me. So I can honestly say yes, been there, loved it. You had seen so many places. Did you take them into the Voodoo Museum?
So I wanted to, but me being a tour guide or me being a chaperone, let's go ahead and be honest, okay? These are kids. So I had to look at it and say, I could do this. We took them into a voodoo shop,
Which one did
and
you go to?
the voodoo shop.
Oh, just the voodoo shop?
Yeah, the voodoo shop. And
That's not
that's
a voodoo shop. That's a tourist trap that uses the name voodoo in it to get you to walk through the doors.
it is for the most part. The woman was talking to Jade and looked at Jane and was telling him how much because he actually bought a voodoo doll, not the little fuzzy one, the actual one made out of straw and stuff. And she looked at me and she goes, "Do you know you got something on you?" I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "I know a person to get rid of that." I said, "No, it
I'm
goes
good.
with me. It goes with me. It's not going anywhere." And she go, "Okay. You, you want to leave my store though?" I was like, "I can do that." Jaden goes, "What are they talking about?" I said, just let it go, dude. Just let it go. I know it's there. Just let it go." I love it. I love it. But yes, there I did not go to the museum because I had to get all four boys to okay that. And there was just that one. And
Who was creeped out?
by the way, the first 2 days I got suckered with that one boy because and you know who you are if you come across this video. He told me, he goes, "You know what? I would really like to hang out because this group over here, um, she's a little old lady. So if you could just, you're a bigger guy. If we could all hang out, yeah." That woman would not go anything that was voodoo related, this and that, death, roadkill, anything. The last day, I looked down. I said, "Hey, we need to do something here. We need to change this up." So I was really respectful. I said, "But there was some shops I wanted to go in, and they're looking at the novelty stuff so much." By the way, there's a store that you could basically buy a boyfriend to hang on the Christmas tree. Delphine, you know what I'm talking about. I got suckered to go in that one, and all my son said was, "Dad, do you want this?" No. "What about the hot fireman?" No. "There's a policeman." No.
My
The heck?
problem was that my kid asked for a specific type of necklace. And it turned out that the only way I could find a necklace close to what she asked for that looked like the character was in an costume / adult shop. And I'm like, seriously, this is the only place in the entire city close enough that I can walk to. I can find this. And I'm like, what the heck, man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, please.
I want to tell our viewers that I love y'all. I will tell you right now. Okay? If you go past one store and then you go down the street, you just went past the same damn store, just different location. Like the toy store, there's 3 toy stores. The uh world's best, there's 5 of them. You're going to find the same stuff. You go and you want gator teeth or you want gator claws and this and that, and you're like, man, I really want that necklace. Go to the bayou. Go to one of those places and go get it, because I'll tell you now, $35.95, $15.
So the
Yeah.
thing that through that they tell you go down Bourbon Street, go down Bourbon Street. I'm like, you know what? Why not? It's literally a street over from where our hotel is. But I'm like, the same shop with the same stuff over and over and over and over again. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going in the shop on the corner. I'm getting some praline, and I'm gonna try again tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be raining less.
Yes. Walk down Royal. Don't walk down Bourbon, because Bourbon is 3 different shops in a row, and then depending on the time of year you're there, there'll be girls standing on coolers selling test tube shots of booze, because you can carry alcohol wherever the fuck you go. You pretty
Yep.
much you either get a plastic like fancy glass that you pour, or they plastic most of the places you go to get a drink, because you probably aren't finishing it there. You're just going to keep walking around. And but Bourbon Street is just for tourists. The other thing is, you're going back down Pyle, is that here's Canal Street, going this way. Going this way is Bourbon. Here's Royal. Here's the Riverwalk.
Yep.
Go all the way down from Canal, go down to the Riverwalk, and skip going up on like the platter or the platform and stuff. Go past Cafe du Monde, and just keep heading. I think I'm pretty sure that's east. Yeah. So go east, go to the Frenchman's District. It is right off the
Yes.
French
Yes.
Quarter.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That is where you're going to find the best music and some great little places to hang out that aren't too touristy. Everybody goes to the French Quarter.
Yep. Yep.
And also buy yourself a 1-day trolley pass if you're going to be in that whole area at all. At least it's super cheap. For like a day, it's under $5, or at least it was the last time we got one, just for a day. But don't take it to the French Quarter, take it the other way, because they will take you on a tour of the Garden District, and you can see all these beautiful old homes that have been in there. And you can go around and they will tell you about all the different old homes and stuff. So if you've read a lot of Anne Rice, you're going to know what you're seeing, because she actually wrote well enough. She lived there, and she described everything in such detail that the way I knew my way around the first time I went to New Orleans was because I'd read Anne Rice. And she did a really good job of laying out exactly where everything is. So,
I will
but
also.
Snug Harbor is a place in the Frenchman's District where you can take minors in to be able to hear music. It's a bar, but it also allows minors in. Because if you're going to find a place to let kids to hear the great jazz and stuff that's available there, you got to look. Some of the little patios and stuff have people playing, but there's some really nice little bars there, and I suggest Snug Harbor, because we went in there and we saw I can't remember her name. There's all the Neville brothers. She's the Neville aunt. And so while she was in there singing, like 5 different people off the streets that were famous musicians just walked in, waved at her. She'd call them up on stage. They'd sing a song with her. When it was her nephew's up, she was like, "He's a Neville, I'm a Neville. Wouldn't you like to be a Neville too?" And that was just great. But yeah, we got to see famous people for the price of just paying a cover charge at a bar, who just happened to be wandering around and decided that they wanted to sing with her. You know, it's good times down there.
What
Yeah.
was your favorite thing that you guys learned on your last trip that you hadn't known before?
I'll let you go first, unless you ain't got nothing.
I ain't got. You're gonna have to give me a second, because I learned the potency of some drinks.
So I've got something here. Um, we got an opportunity, and I'm going to pull this up. And And when I pull it up, I'm gonna. Yep, there we go. Boy, my computer's like, oh yeah, check this out. I'm gonna pull this up because this is one of the places that we got a chance to go to, and I will tell you right now, absolutely wonderful place to go. And there we go. So right there,
Oh,
it's
Preservation Hall.
Preservation Hall is an amazing place. I did not understand how New Orleans created uh how New Orleans was able to create jazz. And the weirdest thing is when you say, oh, creating music, um these people of this city absolutely get the title of saying the creation of jazz because still to this day do they create jazz. And it was years and years and years ago, these guys just wanted to blow off steam. I've had a rough day, and jazz can be a good snappy thing, or it can be a low and tight thing. And what it was one guy would just go and he would start playing, another person would go and feel the rhythm, and he would add his section into it, and another person was able to add his section into it, and then that drummer was the one that was keeping that beat. He would set the tone, he would do this, he would do that. As someone might have an opportunity, he might sing, but most of it was not singing as much as just playing through their instruments and letting you feel how they feel. That's why jazz is considered the soul music. Absolutely, the founding of soul. And if you don't know who Louis is, make sure you do your research before you go to New Orleans, because Louis Armstrong is amazing for what he did with jazz, bringing it into the light even more than what it did and was. He actually was able to take Louisiana music and bring it around the world for more people to really understand how he would operate. But these guys explained, and they actually have people that are in their jazz band here that teach you, and they're from around the world, because there's even a woman there that plays jazz on the piano, and she's from China. She absolutely came here for jazz. So I want to tell you how important this is, that this place exists. They ask you flat out, no photography, no videoing, this and that. They want to keep what they want to teach you in there. That way you come there and you can experience it, listen to it. And I'm sure they have many different things. But since we were a school that were band students, they absolutely want to get into why jazz operates the way that jazz does. So it was very intriguing. But I will also tell you that I was a total asshole. And what no one knew, no one caught, was me and one of the other chaperones sat on the benches in the back. He sat on the left side of the students. I sat on the right side. And when the band started playing their music, I would go and I would swipe over, and then I would swipe back. Swipe over, swipe back. And when I did that, I scooped my bench where it would go like this, and it would hit his. So he retaliated, and we were beating each other the entire time. We were listening. I got a lot out of it, but my ADHD told me that this was more fun because we were getting away with it.
pull up that picture again, real quick.
No problem.
All right.
Oh,
I want you
there we
guys to
go.
pay attention to the balcony there.
Yeah.
That is a low class place, or it was owned by people of a lower class when they moved there, because that balcony is held up by little things that go just underneath the roof. They
Yep.
do not extend to the street. If they extended
Yep.
down to the street to hold them up, that was a rich person's place. They could afford to have the really sturdy balconies, and there's different names for them while you're there.
Yeah. One
So,
is a balcony and one is a awning.
yeah. And so those are little other things that you get to learn about as you're walking around, and it's something that most people don't think of, you know, but there are so
Oh,
many of them. It's it's crazy the amount of similar yet slightly different architecture in that area in particular. Because I mean, that's where they crowded everybody, but there were some exceptionally rich people who lived there, but then there were the poorer streets too. And then you go up to the
right.
Garden District where everybody was fucking wealthy. But yeah, it's crazy the little tiny things you can learn when you're going around. I did learn, and I still have not tried absinthe. I was at that absinthe house in Old Pirate Alley, and I was like, I've never had absinthe, and I would love to try a green fairy someday. And she goes, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and she was like, I would love to serve you one. However, most people prefer to have it as an after dinner drink. And she's like, do you like black licorice? And I was like, I love black licorice. I, I've just never gotten to try absinthe because I'm not going to buy absinthe in Nebraska, you know? And she was like, well, if you find a place in your hotel or at a restaurant that serves it, I would recommend having it after you eat because it is quite potent. And I have the feeling that you girls are going to be walking around for a couple more hours, and I don't think that you would enjoy those hours if you were trying to like navigate the brick streets having had some absinthe beforehand. So they're at least quite honest. They know
Yeah.
that they need their tourists to not injure themselves. And
Right. And I will tell you that one of the things I was really excited about on this trip, we had a student. Every morning he would go and get breakfast, he would go and get coffee, and every day he added a little more milk into his coffee. And he's like, man, I said, what are you trying to do? And he's like, I'm trying to, I don't like coffee. I said, so
he
why
was
are you
drinking
getting it?
chicory, wasn't he?
He goes, I'm just trying to get something that I can drink that's coffee. And I said, okay. So it was getting warm. We went into a building. Jaden had to go to the bathroom. Someone else had to go to the bathroom. And we went to go stop there. And I looked at him. I said, you want a cappuccino? Do you want ice or regular? He goes, uh. So I told him, I said, he wants a cappuccino. French vanilla cappuccino. Any flavor in it? Nope, just that. And he goes, and she goes, what? I said, wait, change that. He wants a mocha latte. Go with the mocha latte. There you go. And he goes, okay. And I put it down, and he goes, okay. Starts drinking it, and I seen him, and I said, so you get any cappuccinos or mocha lattes? He goes, maybe. He's brought back that he really enjoys these things. This is that steamboat that you were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
Right before they start having everybody come onto the ship, the one of the performers will go out there and he will play many different songs on that uh, steam organ, and it's a wonderful steam whistle system, and you can hear it. Does it every single day. This was the first day that we were there. but I actually have a video clip that it will not let me upload. I've tried like 5 times and it's like, no. And it screams, no, daddy, no at me.
Oh,
But
it,
I will. I could not be happier at going down to New Orleans. I will tell you now, we had a hour and a half at the zoo, and at this zoo, I was just like not impressed at the zoo, but it just I
I,
see so many zoos. You know what I
if
mean?
you want a real zoo, you got to come to Omaha. Henry Dorley is one of the best zoos in America.
The Columbus
We
Zoo
have
is
the biggest
amazing.
in we have the largest indoor aquarium as well as tunnel that you walk through that has like sharks and manta rays and everything going through it. And we have a jungle, we have a desert area, we have all these different. I feel kind of bad for the animals in the desert area because their outdoor quarters are really cramped. I'm sure their indoor quarters are much larger, but they go outside because they like the sun instead of
Right.
sitting in their quarters. But you can see kookaburras. Um, there are also two turtles that incredibly seem to be mating all the time. Or not turtles, tortoises. They just they like to go at it. That's something you're gonna if you're going to the jungle and you come out of here and you're gonna go, they're off to your right, and they almost every single time I've been there. But if you go into the jungle and
Welcome to the jungle.
well, if you take the I'm not gonna pull off because it's stuck. But if you take the cellophane off a pack of cigarettes and you go stand back because there's all these like fake vines and stuff that are up there, and you stand back in a corner and you go like this and make it crack, 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 crack. They have spider monkeys that are running loose through the entire jungle. And the
Nice.
spider monkeys will hear that and they will come to get you. And I at one point had like 4 or 5 spider monkeys just sitting on me while I was at late. They didn't try to grab it or anything. They were just attracted by the noise. And my friends and I were just sitting there like hanging out with the spider monkeys, and then some jackass with his video camera came around, "Hey kids!" And they scared all the spider monkeys away. But
So
there are much of oh,
I will show you one picture of these flamingos. Okay, mind you, these boys had to deal with me, and this was the first day, and they had to deal with me.
I love it.
I will tell
Love
you
it,
right
love it, love
now,
it.
as soon as I made them do that, they thought it was so funny dealing with me the rest of the time. I was like, "What's wrong, guys? Don't we want to imitate the rest of them?" And they're like, "No, because that's a tortoise, and I would have to lay on my belly and do nothing." I was like,
But you have to
"Oh,
do
come
Red
on!"
Panda.
But yes, it's a wonderful experience, Louisiana. I absolutely encourage people to go there, but on a scale of 1 to 10 on being street smart, you better be a 9 because they are there to make money and get you to regret your decision.
Now that depends on who you're talking to. People who approach you, you go away. But if you need anything, make sure it's not a tourist, and that's on your street smarts, 1 to 10. You
Right.
can judge who's a tourist and who lives there. Anybody who lives there, unless they're having the shittiest day of their entire life, will be the nicest fucking person in the world to you. They will give you express directions and possibly even walk you where you're trying to go because they rely on you. But now that I taught my mother a word, which was buskers. She didn't know what a busker was. Do you guys know what a busker is?
That one I don't know.
Okay, a busker is here's your lesson of the day. A busker is a street performer. It can be the guy standing there playing guitar on the corner. It can be the
Okay.
person standing as a statue. It can be somebody doing backflips. They're a busker. They're making money off of you. They're busking by making money off of you for displaying their talents. These aren't the people
Right.
who just run up and try to get money from you. These are the performers.
Right.
And if you hear a guy near Jackson Square who's sitting just off of Cafe Du Monde on the river platform side, who says, I'm going to be leaving here in just another song or two, so if you want to get your tips in, throw them in now. He's going to be there for the next 5 hours, at
Oh
least.
yeah.
And he's not playing jazz. He's playing recorded music that's pop music where he plays a little synth and sings popular. I had no idea what he was doing there. And he was making money.
Oh, what about the
I
one that
came to,
was? What
yeah,
about
you
the one
heard
that
him,
was
didn't
singing?
you?
What about the one that was singing Elvis Presley on the other side?
I didn't go to,
Oh dear Lord, he's like, oh have a
uh,
Christmas without you. And I'm like, you don't look like Elvis. You don't sound like Elvis. And it sounds like your tape's scratched up and jumping there, buddy.
as, as soon as you get there, by the way, when you're heading down, get the card of at least 2 or 3 people riding petty carts or PD carts, whatever you call them, the ones with the people who are on a bicycle.
Yep.
Or there is one guy who there's at least one guy who has one that is kind of just a little car that's open on the side. It's like a big fancy golf cart
Yep.
kind of thing. Because you're going to go walking and you're going to be like, I'm great. And then the humidity kicks in. If you have glasses, bring a cloth because you're going to be wiping your glasses every time you go in and out of the buildings. But you will be like 10 blocks away from where you need to go. It's like, it's 10 blocks. No, you can't. Just fucking give that guy $20 and let him take you to where you're going, and your legs and your back will thank you the next day.
Oh.
I mean, you can get your steps in and your cardio and everything if you really want, but if you get their card, you can find easily within any block a place to sit and have a drink. And it can be alcoholic or not, but they will give you can get a drink and you can sit and you can wait until that guy drops off his other person and he will come and pick you up and he will take you to the either the trolley, your hotel, wherever you want to go, and you're golden and you won't hurt nearly as much the next day.
One of my biggest suggestions for you guys is just understand Louisiana. They get weather, they look at it, and they say, it may hit us. And then the people that live there look at you and go, oh no, it's going to hit us. Ponchos.
I don't care.
Ponchos, you're a tourist. You wear a poncho. I'm going to let you know. Everybody knows you're a tourist because no one else is wearing a poncho. And it seems like no woman ever wore a bra. Never. Because I'll tell you what, I could have got radio traffic off of that one woman. Her towers freaked the children out. I'm just, sweetie, if that was you, I just want you to know, do they hang low? Yes, they did. Sorry.
Pardon me. I I would also like to thank the gentleman at Caesars who didn't just politely ask me for my ID to be one of those guys who like makes you feel younger about yourself. Um, it was right after I bought the hat that covers up any of the little silvers that I'm because you know you always get them like towards the front is where you get
Right.
your little silver hairs.
Yep.
Because I don't have too many going. Yeah, I don't have too many going right now. So most of them are just the little tiny curls up at top turn silver sometimes, and I always grab them out. I was trying to just walk in and like where we went in was the casino side. And by the way, if you go to Caesars, if you're looking for how to get to your hotel room, you follow the casino and there is a great statue of Caesar pointing right at the elevators. It's like there's this gigantic, I mean, it's huge, and he's pointing at the elevators. But I walked in and I was just hopping into the casino to go meet mom. I'd gone out. You can't smoke inside Caesars, and so I'd gone outside, had a cigarette or two, and then walked to go meet mom in the casino. And he was carting this young couple or whatever that was over there, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cute. That's so sweet." And I start walking, and he's like, excuse me, ma'am, stop. I I need your ID." And I was like, "What?" It's like, yes, come here. I need your ID. Like, abruptly with me. Not, I mean, he wasn't a dick about it. None of them were really dicks who work there, but it was like a definite, like, I don't believe you're old enough to go in here. Instead of one of those, like, I'm being very nice because you look old and depressed. And I thought I'd make your day or something. But I did get carded, and thank you, sir, for the great compliment because yeah, that's over half my lifetime ago that I need to have that happen. And even if it's one of those things where it's like, we have to card you if you look like you're under 30. Thank you, sir. That was 20 years ago that had to happen. So I'm thankful. I'm happy about that.
Have you told that? Have you said anything about the walls?
About what?
The walls.
What about the walls?
So in
You lost me
Louisiana,
here on your train of thought.
and New Orleans, you guys all have to understand. Some of this is underneath ocean level,
Hmm.
and there is something very important about this. And what's important about this is the fact that there are walls. Okay, kids don't understand the reason
Hmm.
behind walls. So one kid goes and hit the track where the wall comes out and shuts during flood zone and goes, who would put a piece of metal in the ground here? I said, the
Okay.
people that don't want to go swimming. Because New
I thought you were
Orleans.
just talking about general walls, and I'm like,
Oh, oh no.
they're moist? They have
These
lizards
are
on them?
gigantic walls that you will have to go through in some places. I love how Friday keeps on changing her thing, and now
That
she's
one
got
just
that
caught me.
face.
That
I'm
one,
just
okay, all of the pictures so far are from New Orleans. All of them, including this one. Although this one will surprise you where I found this one.
underneath a bridge.
In an adult toy shop.
Oh, okay.
I mean, honestly, I you can't phase me that way anymore.
I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to phase you. I just figured it might be surprising that I went into one willingly and I found so many interesting things that weren't just the toys. Because I found all sorts of props for Halloween, like this thing. Really
Are you
cool
sure that's for
costume
Halloween?
pieces. Well, they were. That was in the Halloween section.
Oh, okay. I just thought it was somebody with a kink.
Well, somebody might
I
have the kink, but it was half Halloween shop with actually some really good metal pieces that weren't like easy to break and stuff like that. And I'm just like changing everything to New Orleans pictures. Now continue as you were.
Mr. Pyle, go ahead and explain the flooding walls.
So when they believe that there is going to be a massive situation, they go ahead and close these flood walls. When you close the flood walls, there's ways that you can actually go into higher ground areas, this and that. But it is very important to understand that if there's if they're going to close flood walls, you should already know the weather's coming for that situation. I'm just saying, New Orleans was underwater during Katrina, and a lot of people, when you go down there, if you say anything about bad weather, they will flat out tell you, "Oh no, you don't know bad weather. We had Katrina." And Katrina wiped out a lot of New Orleans, and there
Yeah.
was a lot of historical buildings that had no choice but to be torn down, and they just people just that still grabs people's attention really, really seriously bad.
Oh, they
But
they just they rebuilt one of the Pontchartrain lakes, not the 27-mile cross, but they one of the bridges that was on over Lake Pontchartrain. We took it to Slidell. We were going to see my cousins, and they'd built a new bridge, and they still had the entry level of the original bridge from the land over, and how much higher the new bridge was built above the old one after Katrina went through. Yeah, it's a thing.
right, there is one. Okay, I do want to give a shout out to this wonderful place. Okay, and I want you guys to all understand this is so rare of a shop. It is called New Orleans Playing Card Company. And
Mention this to me, yeah.
what's that?
Said you mentioned this to me, yeah.
Okay, you can buy a deck of cards in there for like $5. You can buy them cheaper, or you could be the woo woo that gets the Godzilla limited edition with holofoil cards, and these are all playing cards, as in like the aces, the spades, the diamonds, the hearts. These cards. My the kids in my group stopped me and said, "Hey, there's a card shop." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went in there thinking card shop, maybe Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, this and that. No, it was playing cards. So many playing cards over and over and over. And this woman that was owning this shop was so much of a nice woman that it just absolutely got my attention how nice she was. I just absolutely, whenever you buy 3 things there, you get one of these little decorative things, and I
Okay.
thought that was so nice. But this woman, I must have a I must have a lap in something, because I just looked at something and you were waving your arms like this. Anyway, the playing cards were so amazing just to want and look at, but there was one that was $65, and I just was like, "Oh my gosh, am I crazy for thinking that I should probably buy this?"
Yes. Yes, you are.
But it's just all of the different cards and everything that they had, such a selection. They had limited edition ones, they had this and that. Um, and if you go and you buy cards, um, let's see if I can pull this up. Probably not, but we're going to try it. If you go and you buy cards from a casino, they've been played,
They have a hole through
those
them.
they have a hole through them. I did not know that until I
Yes.
got into this card shop.
Yeah, they put holes so and have a little mark across as well. So if you're really good at counting cards and you're playing against somebody who has a deck like that, you might start well, not counting cards, but good at identifying things. You might find a deck that you can read because it has marker across the top of it, and sometimes it goes diagonally. if you're that attentive to detail.
Right. And I hate doing it like this, but I'm so impressed at this. I'm going to. This is
Got to
one
pull
of
it
the
up
pictures.
and cover up.
This,
Yeah.
this is one of the pictures from Google. But I want you guys to get some kind of understanding of this.
We got the boat. Oh no, that's a mule train. Okay.
Yep, it is.
Show us, Mr.
Yes.
Pyle.
I'm trying.
Because I got something to do after.
I'm sorry. This has been a long show, and the thing is,
Perfect.
we didn't know what we were going to get into as we went into this show. We just wanted to compare different things, and this is a little section, and it is so great of a little section.
I swung
Because
the avatar.
one of the kids bought the Avatar one, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And one of the other kids, this and that. I got a deck that's Death, and in the Avatar, it's got different pictures of the Avatar characters as you go through, and it's like, well, this is pretty awesome. So yes, shout out. This is one of the places I would love to have you guys go visit, along with Roadkill. That was a great place. Oh my gosh, I was so happy and thrilled, and my son is thrilled to have his hat as well. So
Was Deadpool halfway to the top? There, I reached there. It's your but the card.
So you did your thing again, but if you're asking what Roadkill is, okay, no.
Sorry, I was asking. In the card shop photo, is this better if I hold it?
Yeah,
Okay,
it
so in
works.
the card shop photo was the card that was halfway across on the top row. Is that Deadpool just over halfway towards you?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
yes. They had
So I see
they had
Superman and
they had three different types of Deadpool. They even had the
oh, I
serial
see him down at the
killer
bottom
edition.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to show you my thing now, and this is just I'm on Amazon Vine right now, and I'm getting free shit, so I'm going to show off the good free shit that I got. This is from the Meow Lux store, right? It's a binder for collectible cards. Like you guys, you mentioned Pokemon and stuff. So if you're into Magic the Gathering, whatever, this holds 400 cards. It has this neat little handy dandy strap. It is super sturdy.
Yeah.
I'm going to cover it with stickers and take it to Terrificon and get everybody's business cards and use it for that, which isn't quite the, if
The use for it.
I would put my Magic cards in it if people hadn't stolen all my Magic cards, but it's super heavy duty and like strong. And I love this. And it would normally be $20, and I got it for free because I'm on Amazon Vine. So I can give
Nice.
reviews and tell people. So I'm trying to like give the reviews out and tell people. And this one, there were a couple different covers you could get for the free one. You just got this one, but I think it's really cool. I don't know exactly all the critters on it, but it's fun. I like it. I got a playhouse from them that my cousin Janae, keep wanting to call her my niece because of age ranges. She just had a baby. Congratulations, Janae. Congratulations, Aunt Joni, for becoming a grandma to Banks Pearson Brazek. And I got you guys a playhouse. You're going to get it for him. It's like a cute little tent type thing with a mat to lay on, and it has strings of lights that go over it and stuff, and it's not too girly. So it can be an everybody playhouse. And we all grew up with playhouses because our grandparents had a farm and grandma totally redecorated a chicken coop into a playhouse that had like side rooms, and the kitchen was all furnitured and furnitured. They had all the little things and stuff that built up against a wall, and the other side had a knick-knack curio cabinet and a little piano and a crib to put the baby in and everything. So this one isn't quite that cool. It's not the size of a chicken coop, but it's an indoor little play area for up to like 4 years old or so.
Well, I know that
But
we're
I've
past
squirreled
our.
off now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We're
I'm like,
past our 2
Amazon Prime.
hours. Is there anything else that we want to say before we jump off here?
Go to Louisiana, go to New Orleans, and give them your money. Don't give the people who are trying to take. If somebody walks up to you and says, "Hey, I haven't," okay, this was the worst. I had a guy when I was sitting out having a cigarette on the hotel stairs he wasn't even trying. Okay, dude was wearing his normal clothes, and then over them he had a sweatsuit, a gray sweatsuit that had obviously been bought from Walmart within the past 2 days, cut with scissors very evenly to make it look as though it was ragged, but he didn't actually ragged it. He just cut off the ends of things. And then it had perfect shoe prints that he had like pushed onto it and tried to smear and make himself look dirty, but he didn't. And he said, I haven't eaten for 2 days. Can I get some money? Do you have anything? I haven't eaten for 2 days. And I reached in my purse and I pulled out the pretzels from the airplane and I handed them to him.
He got mad.
He got mad. Yeah, he looked at me and he was just like, "Well, can I at least have $1 or 2?" And I'm like, "I just gave you food. You said you were hungry."
We had one person come up and he goes, "Hey, anything will help. I just need something." And I looked at him. I said, "Anything?" He goes, "It could be the smallest thing. Anything at all." I said, "All right." I looked at him. I said, "Heavenly Father," and he goes, "Huh?" And them boys just looked at me like, and Jane goes, I got through the whole thing. And as soon as I got through the whole thing, he just looked at me and goes, "That's not what I needed." I said, "Oh, hold on." And he goes, "What?" I said, "Let me look it up." Okay, so it says the closest Salvation Army. He goes, "Why?" I said, "Because they have food pantries." He goes, "Man, forget you." And I said, "May you have a wonderful day. And let God be with you." And my kid looked at him and goes, "And also with you." And it was funny because the other 3 boys said, "Yes, may you have a wonderful day." They followed suit so well. I was so proud of them boys.
Good job, boys. I'm proud of
I
you too.
Please, viewers, do a replica of my picture and show us. We want you to see. I want to see you do a replica of my picture. Find out where I am in the picture with my dear husband
I know
and
exactly where you
get
are.
a picture.
I have a picture. I have a picture of that and the plaque that's on it.
Of course.
So,
Now, I sent it to you in chat
Yep.
if you want to put it up on the screen, but otherwise, I know you know where it is. I'm pretty sure I know Pyle and his little troop of boys were there because I saw the pictures in the thing.
You know, I will tell you this last thing, and then we probably got to jump off here. But let me be right honest, and this is great. Okay, every single one of those is green. Every fountain.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
that's not the best thing. My wife's birthday is April 1st. We were there on April 1st. Do you know what I did in Jackson Square?
What?
What did
I went and had them boys sing Happy Birthday, and every single one of them had to sing it in a different way. So we got Happy Birthday, and one's like Happy Birthday, and one's like, "Nah." And then one goes Happy Birthday, and they're all singing it, and they get down to her name, and the one kid goes, I don't even know her name, and it was great. We didn't say nothing, and then all of a sudden the one goes, okay, now show her the horse's ass, and they all pointed at the back of Jackson's the statue, and here it is, the horse's ass.
Okay,
I
okay,
could
just a
not
second,
be.
second. You keep going.
What's that?
You keep going. I got a second that I'm looking at the picture.
I'm just saying that right there.
Yeah. And by the way, there's some actual homeless people who do need help in New Orleans. Just check first. I mean, use common sense. You can like who's just being under 80 and not bugging you. He needs you a lot more than the kid who's got 500 haircut, but is wearing cut off sweats over real clothes. But this would be, I believe you're at. Is that correct?
Uh, that was the one. That was the one section, and I'm sure that's the fountain.
Yeah. In the back. I'm assuming this is where Jenny was. There's that. But yeah, be kind. Give them your money. Keep New Orleans open. I mean, if we could make it up to at least, is there actually second world, like first world problems, and there's third world? What's a second world? Is there?
Yeah, it's called Utah. All right. We should probably end this. Absolutely. I thank you very much, Dell and Ratatosker. Ratatosker, you didn't say much.
He's
He's nursing
still
a my.
sulking because he wasn't allowed out of the hotel room in New Orleans. Mom was like, no, he doesn't need to go. They'll steal him or they'll give him something or he'll just go off and get drunk with the locals and we'll never get him back. So he was quarantined to the hotel room the entire time we were there.
Friday is always a wonderful treat.
Yes, I'm insane. You don't have to not tell them.
So I'm going to go ahead and get everything ready. And we appreciate you guys joining us for this wonderful adventure. And remember, just watch out where you guys go. I mean, if you're wandering around and you look like you're lost, people pick up on that, and you never know when the cockroach is going to jump up your leg. It happened. He squealed. It was great.